Good evening. Good evening. This is Love Coach Dasha. I'm here with you again for this week's Word of the Week for our YouTube series. Now, this Word of the Week is to help you to figure out one thing that you can do this week to be able to start to heal and reconcile and recover after infidelity. You are in a place where you do want to stay in your relationship, but you're not quite sure what to do. This weekly series is designed to help you have one simple thing that you can do each week that will help you to work on getting on the healing path and staying on the healing path so that you can find yourself again, find the love that you really, really want to be in your life again. All right. So this week's word of the week is a compound word. We got two words technically, but it's hyphenated, so we're going to count it as one. Self-care is this week's word of the week. Self-care. You need to be performing some kind of self-care on a daily basis and on a weekly, monthly basis. You need to be doing something for yourself all the time. All the time. Now, self-care it's got a couple of different definitions, but basically it's the practice of taking action to preserve or improve one's own health, or to the practice of taking an active role in protecting one's own well-being and happiness, in particularly during times of stress. So usually that's when you really need some self-care, is when you're having a time of stress. And of course, going through infidelity, going through that trauma is a time of stress. So this is a time where you definitely need to be doing lots and lots of self-care. You need to be remembering to do your self-care. Now, I know that that's difficult. Everything else that we've talked about, right, is kind of difficult to think of in the moment when you're hurting, when you're dealing with the trauma. Doing things like your deep breathing, doing things like your journaling, doing things like being mindful seems really difficult to remember, but those are the go-to things. And self-care is one of those go-to things that you're going to need to do every single time some of those negative feelings start to pop up, because that is natural. You've been through a trauma, you're going to have bad feelings. You are going to have days where you feel very, very down, very insecure, very upset with yourself. On those days, after you've done a little deep breathing, after you've done a little bit of journaling, you need to go and take some time to be taking care of yourself. It's just the same as if one of your very best friends or a small child is having a bad day. They're having a bad day, they're upset. What do? You go to them. You try and take care of them. You try and give them the things that they need to make them have a better day. You try and soothe them. You try and help them get to a better place. And why are you any less worthy of that type of attention than anybody else? You're not. I know that you have it in you. I know that is probably your absolute first response to the people in your life who are struggling. You want to give something to them. You want to help them out. You want to do something for them that makes them feel like they are worthwhile. They are somebody who is important. They are somebody who is loved. Well, you should be doing the same thing for yourself, okay? Now, you are going to be doing the things that you like. And to be able to do the things that you like, you got to figure out exactly what you like. So I need you to spend a little time with your journal this week. Spend a little time sitting with your journal and figuring out things that make you feel good, that will distract you or make you feel like you can deal with the stressors that come from trying to recover after infidelity. If it's something simple like physically you need to just get out and move, go take a walk, that's an excellent plan. Go do that. There are different levels of self-care. There are 8 really altogether if you really want to be fancy about it. There's physical self-care. It's like stuff like going for a walk, taking a bath, getting enough sleep. Psychological self-care is stuff like read a book, learn a new skill, apply a skill that you already have. Emotional self-care is things like making boundaries, practicing compassion for yourself. You're going through something, patting yourself on the back and telling yourself that you're a good girl and you're going to come through this. Social self-care, asking for help when you need it, meeting new people, spending time with your friends and your family. Then there is professional self care. Negotiating out your needs, having clear boundaries with your boss, making sure that you're taking care of yourself as you're working. A lot of people, I was a nurse for 20 years, and that was one of those things. Nurses would not take care of themselves when they were working. We would hold our pee for 8 hours straight and not eat a good lunch, and then get home and just be wiped completely out. And that's a good way to get burnt out. So, professional self care, environmental health care, decluttering. Making sure that you're monitoring your tech time, not spending all day long looking at other people's lives on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram, wherever. Having a safe living environment, safe, clean, clutter-free living environment. There's also spiritual self-care, of course, doing things like meditating, or if you go to church, or being out in nature, whatever it is that is speaking to your spirit. And then there's financial self-care, knowing your budget. When's the money coming in? When is it going out? Getting your taxes done, spending and saving wisely. All of those things are different levels of self-care. And you can pick any level you'd like. Although with trauma, it tends to be very positive to use the physical kind. So that means that you need to go get a snack even when you're not hungry, and feed yourself and make sure that you have enough calories to keep going. You need to go drink water. That's a great thing to do if you're not feeling hungry. If your stomach is feeling all in knots and you feel like you're just having a hard time, go drink some water. Hydrate yourself. And also, what happens when you do that, when you're anxious, your digestive tract slows down. So if you drink water, you activate it again, and then that kind of snaps you out of the anxiety that you were in. So you got to be working on that. Lots and lots of physical things with recovering from infidelity. Lots of taking care of yourself, babying yourself, soothing yourself, making yourself feel good. And then there's also simple things like forgiving yourself for being in a position where you had to make the decision to reconcile with somebody who cheated on you. Yeah, you didn't want to be in that position. You were forced to be in that position, but you are making the decisions now. And so forgiving yourself for making the decision that you wanted to make is a good form of self-care. Keeping your focus kind of narrow, not dealing with 15, 20 things that you have to do a day. Just limiting your amount of activity a day, 4 or 5 things that you're going to deal with and handle per day. That's a good way to deal with infidelity, with your issues of not feeling very good about yourself and during infidelity. You need something that is going to be just for you. And so when you are taking those moments to say, I am not going to do more than I'm capable of doing, that is taking that time for yourself. That is taking good self-care of yourself. So all of those types of things you need to be doing on a regular basis. And this is a great time for you to figure out, if you have not figured out yet, your love language. What is your love language? What are your top 2 love languages? Like mine are receiving gifts and what is the other one? Receiving gifts and words of affirmation. That's what it's called. So when I need to do self-care for myself, I buy myself things. Little presents, little trinkets, something pretty, something sparkly, something that makes me feel good. And then words of affirmation, I talk nicely to myself. I'm constantly telling myself I am beautiful, I am wonderful, I am brilliant, I am such a kind and loving and honest and open person, and everybody wants to be around me. That's the type of stuff that I tell myself when I am having some difficulty and I need some self-care. So if you know what your love language is, you will be able to very easily come up with things that fit into your love language that will make you feel good, that will be self care when you need it. So if your love language is physical touch, get a massage, spa day, doing a long shower, you know what I mean? And doing your aromatherapy and all that stuff in the shower. If your love language is acts of service, do something for yourself, like cleaning up for yourself. How about delegating some responsibility, deciding I'm not going to take this responsibility on myself, I am going to delegate it to someone else and let them handle it, and I'm going to release it. That is an act of service to yourself. Keeping up with your planner, that's a good act of service one. Receiving gifts, of course, going out, vacations, craft supplies, getting your stuff to craft with. There's quality time. And so quality time can be things like taking yourself out on a date, spending time doing your own hobbies. And then there's words of affirmation. It's giving yourself that positivity, those encouraging words. So doing daily affirmations, doing your journaling and saying something positive about yourself, and, self-improvement, saying, I can do better than I have been doing, and I'm going to work on that. And that is self-care, understanding where you can improve your behavior, the things that you're doing, and actually going for it and improving. That is one of those words of affirmation things. You can pat yourself on the back for doing that. So all in all, what I want you to do is come up with a practice. I want you to come up with a practice that you do every single solitary day. My practice that I do every single solitary day is do my morning affirmations every single morning. I sit down with my water, because I gotta hydrate, and I do affirmations for about it's about 5 minutes. It's 5 minute thing on YouTube. I do a weekly one. Weekly is I try to get my nails done. I try and do my nails weekly, pushing back my cuticles, applying some growth formula, trying to make my nails look nice. That's what I do like on a weekly basis. Monthly basis, I take myself out. I go do things for myself. I buy myself something that, I was thinking about, and, you put things off for yourself. And so monthly I try and I keep a list of things that I liked, and I pick something off of my list and take it for myself, do that thing for myself. So I want you to be thinking about what you can do daily, weekly, monthly for you. What can you do for yourself on a consistent basis that is self-care for you, so that you can get to the point where you feel like you are worthwhile, you are the star of the show, and you deserve these things. Because a lot of the time when you're trying to heal from infidelity, you expect your mate to fix it, to fix how you're feeling. And most of the time they can't fix it. They may have broken it, but they can't fix how you're feeling. You have to look inside and actually go for fixing this on your own. You have to do things that are going to make you feel better, make you feel whole. So I want you to be doing those things. I want you to be taking care of yourself. So self-care every month, every week, every day. What can you do for yourself that is taking care of yourself, that shows that you are worthy and you're worthwhile, so that later on you don't have those terrible thoughts about, well, I'm not good enough, and I'm not enough for this person, and that's why this happened. No, that's not why this happened. It didn't have anything to do with you, but you have to build yourself back up to be able to understand that it wasn't about you. Okay? Alrighty. That's about all I got for you today. So that's what I want you to be doing this week. Work on your practice of self-care. That is the word of the week. And I will be back again, of course, next week for the next word of the week. And I'll see you again on Sunday. Bye.